TikTok is filled with all kinds of questionable advice, but every once in a while there's a gem in there. So we're going to take a look at some productivity TikToks and see if there's anything we can learn from them.
You are not going to believe how well this life hack works to help you focus, especially for my ADHD folks. If you're working or studying, go listen to Mario Kart music. This is the playlist I have on Spotify. It is a game changer. You are gonna zone in.
So this is actually a really great tip, and we've written about it before. We've got a video about it. They've specifically designed their music to keep you gearing up for more. They keep you motivated to keep going and going and going, at the same time being unobtrusive and in the background. So we've actually got a blog post that has a few playlists, so we will link that blog post below.
Why are people who wake up really early in the morning to get work done called productive? And
ooh, I have the answer to your question. You should go watch her whole video, because really what she's asking is, why are people who wake up at 5 a.m. considered productive?
This lady goes on to talk about how different people have different circadian rhythms. Not everyone is most productive at 5 in the morning. People who wake up at 5 a.m. aren't necessarily more productive. They're just choosing to work at a time when a lot of other people are also still asleep. So this is specifically helpful to people who are generally prone to interruptions. And so waking up earlier is a time when they can be uninterrupted and approach that deep work.
What's a tip or trick you've learned that's changed your life? I'll go first. If there's something you need to do but really don't want to, like chores or paperwork, you can actually trick yourself into wanting to do it. Pretend you're in a movie and your character is an expert at whatever it is you need to do, like it's their life passion. Make it a game, get into character. For me, it was boring tax stuff. So I pretended I was a successful businesswoman in New York City, the very best at my firm. I put on a nice outfit and made a cup of tea in my favorite mug. I was skeptical at first, but ended up flying through my work.
This is hilarious. I love this. It's really cute. I don't know how long this would work, but I mean, sure, playing some dress up to get yourself in the mood, in the zone. I mean, absolutely. Why not give it a try?
Here's a little secret engineers use to improve productivity that's actually pretty easy. The secret is 5S. 5S is super simple, and it's only 5 steps. Pick an area in your house. Sort the items you use frequently and the ones you don't. Set in order. Put the items you use frequently in easy to reach places, and the ones you use less often in harder to reach places. Time to shine. Clean up the space. Standardize. This is what separates 5S from spring cleaning. Assign everything a designated location. I like to call it a home. I keep my hair products in this cabinet and my skincare in this basket. And last, sustain. Don't throw things in a drawer because it's easy. Take the time to put it back in its home where it belongs. Let me know how it goes. Good luck.
So it seems like here they're talking about essentially creating systems and having them in place so that when you do get to doing something, then you don't have to worry about where they are and figuring it out. I mean, she's talking about physical location stuff, but for knowledge workers, that could also be creating systems for your files and your documents, or knowing where things are, keeping your desktop screen clean. By knowing where everything is, then you lose less time searching for things.
This one sentence has completely transformed my entire life. It got me a fancy magazine job in New York. It got me 2 book deals with Penguin Random House. It got me a podcast. It got me raises that I probably didn't deserve. And honestly, it probably got me a husband. Never be the one to say no to yourself. Let somebody else say no to you. Let's say that you want a new job and you're like, no, I'm not qualified for it, whatever. Apply for the job. Let somebody else say no to you. Let somebody else tell you that you're not qualified. And maybe they'll say yes.
Sure, sounds like a really good tip for people who are trying to develop as professionals.
In the room where you work, get a second chair and put it in the middle of the room where it's a little bit rude and in the way. When it's time to do a task, tell yourself you can either sit in your work chair and do the work, or get up and sit in the resting chair. To sit in the resting chair isn't a punishment. It means you don't want to do it, and why would you do something you don't want to do? So sit in the other chair. Do not bring your phone with you. Sit there and rest. Let your mind run. If you know some breathing exercises or stretches, then do those. But just sit there, and then an amazing thing will happen. You'll get bored. Then, Ask yourself if you're interested in doing your work. You might have to go back and forth between both chairs several times, but eventually your dopamine levels will drop enough that your reward systems will fire while you're working. Then you'll settle down to do the work. The greatest achievements on Earth were accomplished by people who wanted to accomplish them. Their chemical reward systems were working in line with their ambition. Doing this exercise requires that you notice and do what you want. This simple method is the best one I've found to notice your own desire to achieve.
And this is a very interesting approach. It seems to go hand in hand with what we talk about is the need for taking frequent breaks. But his reasoning is slightly different. His reasoning is that you had to get bored long enough to get excited about going back to work. So it's not so much as giving your mind a rest, kind of reducing internal stimulation long enough to want to go do something else. I would definitely want to try it. I mean, sounds cool. I would be very interested to hear from you guys if you've tried it.
You are about to hear the #1 cheat code to life. You are 42% likely to achieve your goals by doing just this one thing. Write your goals down. But don't just write them down in present tense. So if your goal is to get a house, your phrase could be, I am so happy I bought my house at 24. Or I love driving my Tesla every day at 20. Write it down. You have to be precise.
I don't know how much this could be considered a productivity hack as it is more of a motivational tool, but I do agree with the fact that if you want to achieve something, a task even, writing it down is definitely the first step. By taking it out of your mind, you're reducing the cognitive load of having to remember the stuff that you want to accomplish. Quick break, just a reminder to subscribe to this channel to get more fun videos like these.
This is one productivity hack that you really need to try. If you're constantly distracted and you struggle to stay focused on those really big tasks, you need to download an app called Forest. Whenever you want to stay focused, plant a tree. Your tree will grow while you focus on your work. Now, if you leave the app halfway through, your tree will die. So it stops you from checking social media or getting distracted by anything else. Okay, the cool part is you can choose whichever tree you want to plant. There are tons.
Personally, I can think of lots of other distractions that aren't only my phone, but if that's your main source of distraction, then sure, this kind of fun visual reminder and game could be a great motivational factor for you.
I'm going to give you the biggest and easiest productivity hack ever. It might sound a little bit silly, but trust me, it does work. If you're finding it difficult to stay focused, you can't get yourself to do any work, all you need to do is set your phone up to time-lapse yourself doing the work. You will be shocked at how productive you become. I'm going to give you the biggest and easiest
Okay, so her tip is that you just film yourself working while your phone is set to time-lapse. That's interesting. I've never heard this one before. Maybe the pressure of having a camera filming you makes you not want to procrastinate and do other stuff. I don't know, but it's interesting. Again, a nice creative one.
I'm running 3 companies while I attend law school. Here's a rule I live by. If it takes less than 60 seconds, do it now. If my bed isn't made, I'll stop whatever I'm doing and I'll make it real quick. Let's say my jacket's on the floor. Well, that's fine. Let me just put it in the closet immediately. No one likes taking out the trash, but it literally takes less than a minute, so do it now. Give yourself a sense of accomplishment for the little things, and you create momentum for the bigger tasks.
I mean, this is very similar to the 5-minute rule that we've also talked about before, that if something takes less than 5 minutes to do, just do it now. Rather than putting it off, having to add it to a to-do list, just getting it done reduces that clutter of tasks that you have to deal with.
This is a guaranteed way to become more productive. Okay, so last year was the busiest year of my life, and during this period I discovered time blocking, which Harvard Business Review named the most effective way to be productive. So I designed my own time block planner, and it really works, especially if you're a procrastinator like me. First, I have a section for the 3 priorities I need to achieve by the end of the day. Then I do my task dump. I designed this area to be freeform because I change the way I structure my to-do list depending on my mood. Once all my tasks are out of my brain and onto the page, I assign them a time. This is where the magic happens. I put any events or meetings I've committed to first, and then move the rest of the tasks from the left-hand side into their own time slot. Using this method actually makes you realize how much time you have to do things. It also lets you concentrate on one task at a time and gets rid of that overwhelming feeling you have when you have too much on your plate.
I have a printout template of this on my website and a weekly version that I'll explain in my...
I love this. We've talked about time blocking or time boxing before. Essentially, the process of assigning a task to a certain time so that when you approach your day, you don't have to be thinking about what you should be doing when, because you've already planned that out for yourself. And this girl seems to have essentially created a printout to ease that process. And so yeah, this is all in all a really great system to get things done. The only minus is that it does take some time to plan out your day in such detail. What do you think? Some of them were fun, some of them were creative. I mean, give this video a thumbs up if you think we should give them a try. Until then, I'll say goodbye and see you next time.